I died again last night. It was uncomfortable and full of static. I'm not really sure how old I am anymore, but I think I'm in my early 20s. Sometimes it's quiet, and sometimes it isn't. The morning after it happens, I wake up, live and unharmed, like some twisted Groundhog's Day. The difference is that I'll be an entirely different person. Sometimes I'm older, sometimes I'm younger. I was originally born a girl, I think. But after so many bodies, I'm not really sure anymore. I think rather asexually these days. The first time it happened, I had a hard time dealing with the change. I'd never been in a car accident before. I saw the other car coming, but there was so much snow. I didn't know what to do. I was only 16, and it shouldn't have happened. I mean, I was a late bloomer. I just figured out all that period crap, had my first boyfriend. I was so young. And then the other car hit. It happened quickly, but it hurt so much. It was an older car. Mine was, that is. My parents wanted my first car to be a beater. The steering wheel did something, and my breasts were completely crushed into my ribcage. I felt my bowels let go. I almost bled out, but both lungs had collapsed. I sat there in total shock and total pain. At first I was angry, then I tried to pray, but the thoughts were just so random. I'm not sure how long this all went on, but by the end I just wanted it to go black. And it did. The pain was everywhere. Choking on your own blood includes a claustrophobic response. I didn't realize until many deaths later what had happened. Now I'm familiar with the sensation. But that first time, I was so afraid. I just wanted out of the car, out of my broken body. I wanted the men and women driving by to just stop looking at me and actually help me. I keep reminding myself that death was the first one. It's vivid and clear, but sometimes I remember things differently. Sometimes I feel like I was a boy born into my first death. I was drowning. Sometimes I feel like I died of old age in Canada 20 years ago. I've since died of broken hips, shootings, strokes, liver failure, cancer, even suicide. Cancer's not an easy way to live, and suicide... I felt a pretty intense moment of regret when I fell. I've woken up in the bodies of priests, doctors, lawyers, garbage men, CEOs, politicians, fast food employees, single moms. Everyone. Sometimes it's the most depressing life, but sometimes it's amazing and affluent. I'm always aware that I'll die in a few days, so if I can, I do try to enjoy it. I mean, their death is my life. Sure, when it started happening, I thought it was amazing. After the shock of the first few bodies, I felt more comfortable. If I woke up at a married man's or woman's body, I was a teenager stuck in those bodies. I could see what it was like to have kids, to make love, what it was like to be surrounded by loving strangers on your deathbed, how it felt to take a shower without the use of my legs. I've been experiencing aspects of humanity that no one ever gets to talk about. Having to use a laxative suppository just to use the restroom. Yeah, that one took me a few days to figure out. Since then, I've had a lot more respect for the wheelchair-bound experience. I've been beautiful women. I've had beer bellies. I've gone clubbing. I've even been a very awkward stripper. Lived in a Simone's body, and even flown a plane. No, I didn't crash it. We landed safely thanks to the co-pilot. I died of a heart attack later that night, though. I'll wake up in strange places sometimes. Normally it'll be a bed, though, but I'll wake up before I open my eyes, and I'll let the air fill my nostrils. Every part of the world smells different. I've actually gotten to the point where I can guess where I am. I've leaned in for kisses and felt the warmth of making love to a stranger who cried beautifully during the experience. I've hugged my children, I've given a high five to communists. I've watched the great silverbacks. I've died giving birth to 2 beautiful twin boys. And I've looked down from the Alps. But those are the good lives. I've died as a child, as a prisoner, as a gangbanger. Everything. I've been raped and murdered before, both as man and woman. I've been a gas station employee robbed and killed for $50 in the register. I've been a North Korean boy alone in a gulag. I felt desperation while my intestines fell through my fingers. I've blinked my eyes after being beheaded. I've been a casualty in several wars. Those aren't easy lives. To just wake up and I'm supposed to be a member of this group of soldiers and I'm supposed to not let them down. Sometimes I'm the only one hit and my countrymen have to carry me back for miles to try to save me. I've gotten better at last words when I'm able to, but those first few times looking into the eyes of the men that I knew I was supposed to be this guy's best friend, and he had done so much to save me, but the words that I needed to express, well, they were just lost inside of me. And I just froze up, feeling the pain of the experience. Those lives are the most beautiful to experience, but I always feel guilty to the next morning when I wake up. I at least get to escape those wars. I've looked at my previous lives, tried to find the pattern. There is no pattern. Sometimes I'm an American. Sometimes I'm not. I've woken up on every continent. Antarctica is lonely but serene. Germans party all night just like the South Koreans. The streets of Saudi Arabia feel like the streets of Mexico City. England is beautiful, or at least when it's not raining. The Great Pyramids are perfect. The world is beautiful. But now I'm 14 again. This time I'm a woman. A girl. Next time I'll probably be a man. I'm only saying all of this because I think I've figured it out. I think I'm supposed to give fulfillment to these families before I die. Like I'm supposed to wrap up these lives as best as I can. But this one right now, I'm not sure. As far as I can tell, this body and I are the same, and we share the experience. I feel their emotions as well as my own, but I'm pretty sure they can see everything that I'm doing. From viewing their thoughts, I get the gist of who they are. Most of them hang out online, but who doesn't these days, right? All I know is that they are in slumps when I reach them. Some are truly depressed. We begin life with promises and potential. The American dream is a human endeavor. We start out unafraid. We fall while walking. We babble nonsense. That's how we grow and how we learn. Somewhere throughout our lives, we grow afraid to just take it all in and live. There's nothing to be afraid of. The beauty of life is in the little imperfections, and in fighting the grace of experience. That beauty in real time. I'm not entirely sure what I've become, and what it means. Maybe I'm not anything besides a consciousness. Maybe none of us are. Maybe that's the way it was supposed to be. Maybe that's the point of all this.